They saying Wack100 is feds up at No Jumper, man. They saying we can't even call him Wack100 no more. It gotta be Officer Wacky. It's kind of crazy. The good old people that Point and Shoot did a video on it, man, and I'm gonna break it all down. They talking crazy about Wack. Let me know where y'all located. Let me know what y'all feel about this whole Big U situation, everything going down at the No Jumper. Let's load this up.
Video, I want to talk about Three Fingers Wack100 and how he lined up Luce Cannon to get arrested by the federales.
Wow.
So I want to explain. So one of the things that Luce Cannon is locked up for right now is for the Great No Jumper Brawl of 2024. This is when Luce Cannon was seen on video buffaloing some guy in the head with slam.
I'm not gonna lie, like Wack100 has been letting himself look a little bit, you know, into the situation. He looked like he's like all in it. And the reason I'm going to say is because he always has the answers. He knows the calibers of weapons and stuff. And I think that is either you're going to be in it or you're going to be out of it. You can't like do both. You have to choose one side. And I think he's trying to play both sides, which I agree, right? Both sides.
And he forced him to take an unexpected nap, and then he ran his pockets and disrobed him and left him naked for dead. What? This is the Great No Jumper beatdown, but this is in the indictment. This is what Luce Cannon is in trouble for right now. And what they're saying is on the internet, people are saying that Wack Three Fingers lined this whole thing up and used Luce Cannon to beat up someone he didn't like. And now Luce Cannon is in jail for it, and Wack Three Fingers is parading around dry snitching on him, saying that it was all Luce Cannon, and this is basically telling. This is telling, guys.
Wack didn't run out on no bullshit.
Right, but the people that you invited are the ones who got involved in this bullshit. And from my perspective, this was all like a big PR thing. Because why was somebody filming before it even started?
Yeah, so someone was filming before it started, indicating that it was planned. Okay, so I want to explain this entire beating. So I guess Three Fingers Wack had a...
So all this time we talking about Adam 22. And, you know, it's because he's white. Let's just point out the obvious. He's a white boy in the culture of hip-hop that's predominantly black, and he's promoting, you know, he's actually, you know, showing love to the culture, if that's what you want to call it. Now, he just said it out loud, and everybody will say, oh, Adam 22 is a fed. But all of this stuff that is going on with this is documented. It's public information. The same information I'm hearing, the same information you're hearing. I've seen Wack100 a lot of times put himself all the way into a situation that nobody asked him to be involved in. Now, as far as this, I've seen Wack100 get down on his own. So for him to just not get down and call out for Luce Cannon, I don't know. Maybe Luce Cannon is a dummy. Maybe that's what it is. If y'all think he's a dummy, right, dummy. He might be the dummy. You know what I mean? Hold on, man. He might actually be the dummy, man. I think that's what it is.
A business deal for a low-budget TV show with these two guys, Travis Ford and Mozzie. And apparently, Wack wanted to bring the 16 in on the deal because I think he wanted the 16 to help promote the show with his No Jumper platform. So he needed the 16. So they were going to have this meeting at the No Jumper building. Just the four of them, Three Fingers Wack, Mozzie, Travis Ford, and the 16 of Nashua. It was supposed to be those four. But the meeting was canceled. He showed up to the meeting anyway. He says, I'm going anyways, because he's got some business. He wants to do some business.
He tells him, I'm going up there anyway. Right?
And so what happened was Jay Reed annoyed some people by overstepping and trying to like slither into a business dealing that he wasn't invited to. And so he was annoying Three Fingers Wack and Travis Ford and everyone. He's being a pest.
But see, that's another thing. You can't invite people through your door and then get mad how they sit on your couch. If you invite somebody in, they invited in. You done brought them in. They done crossed through the threshold. They already in there. And if he had an invite to come and see Ron for still coming, I'm not coming unless I call first.
And this is why people are saying that this was a setup. That Wack Three Fingers knew that Jay Reed was coming. Travis Ford probably told Three Fingers Wack, like, hey, this guy's going anyways. This guy's out of control. And Wack was probably like, we gonna see about that. I got Luce Cannon. We gonna do the whole thing.
That's crazy.
And, you know, he wanted, Wack Three Fingers wanted to do some gangsta shit. What? But he's not a gangster, so he needed Luce Cannon. Does this make sense?
Mozzie.
You know, he
Jay
made
Reed
sure
in
he
the
mentioned
back.
Luce.
I don't know this dude.
So Three Fingers Wack actually did know who Jay Reed was and likely knew he was coming to No Jumper that night.
People, when I get here, they're here. If you ain't here when I get here, I ain't f***ing with you. So I don't send my people out. I say, Luce, whoever out there, maybe they're your people, go check. So he goes out. They motion for me to come over there. Dude is saying some shit like, motherfuckers think they all that, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, but when it come to this white boy, Culture Vulture, he get to this, all this crazy shit, right? I make the decision not to respond. You know why? I respond, Adam, who respond? You been around my team long enough to know they disciplined. They ain't finna do shit unless I do some shit. I'm not saying I ain't tell myself, I'm gonna fuck your ass up, just not right here. I ain't trying to hear what you saying. Luce says, so you came up here for content. He says back to Luce, whatever, cuz how you want to put it, on gangster. Luce says, nigga, this on neighborhood, okay? In this jungle, Adam, anything gangster crip, anything neighborhood crip.
Wow. Okay, so this Pyru is on this podcast narrating gang-related crime. I mean, this is insane.
Like, I never understood that about Wack. Like, I don't know if he's just this good of a gangster where he could be managing, he be managing Crip artists or everything, or he's just about his money. I don't know. But for an old guy, he's sure be in a lot of YN problems.
And why is he doing this? It's almost like he wants Luce Cannon to get investigated. Seriously, what is the point of discussing this on this show? If Wack Three Fingers is so hot under the collar from all the pressure from the interrogation of the 16, imagine what he would give to the cops. I think Wack Three Fingers is an informant at this point. And the point I wanted to make is that Luce Cannon already made a video snitching on himself for this exact thing, this exact beating, but he gave a different story that didn't involve any type of gangbanging. And so I'm thinking, like, is Wack just trying to add gangbanging to the story because he knows the feds are watching? And so I'd like to play you guys a clip of Luce Cannon's version of the event.
Wack was like, no, I don't know who they are. So I'm like, oh, I don't know, but let me go out and holler at him. So I walk out, and he was like, man, I got a problem with Wack. I'm like, you got a problem with Wack about what? Yeah, I just got a problem with him. I'm like, you do? So I called Wack over there. Wack, come over here. Dude was like, man, you running this type of content and stuff like that. And Wack was like, what content? Wack pulled out his phone. Once Wack pulled out the phone, he was like, oh, this content? And then the dude was like, everything is not content. I said, you right. So, y'all see the results. Smack. Let's get to it. How far do y'all expect me to go?
Yo, do you hear how he talk? Something might be wrong with this guy, bro. Like, he talk like he a little slow.
So Luce Cannon's version is that he knocked the guy out because he said he had a problem with Three Fingers Wack. That's very interesting. So Three Fingers Wack left that part out of his version. He didn't want the narrative to be that Luce Cannon was knocking people out on his behalf. So he changed the story. And so here's the deal. He only started saying, no, don't do that after the gun came out. What? You can clearly see in the video, Wack Three Fingers just standing there with his hands in his pockets watching the beating take place and didn't say anything until Slam got pulled out. And you're going to be able to tell when the tussle starts and when Three Fingers Wack says, no, don't do that. Listen to this.
Who's recording though? Like, oh.
So that was about 11 seconds of violence, and Wack just stood around with his hands in his pockets watching it happen. So I really have a huge problem with Wack Three Fingers telling on Luce Cannon on podcasts and, like, you know, explaining all this.
He got a good point though.
On, you know, it's really unacceptable. He should sit there and shut the fuck up, especially because he was involved probably. Federales are actually using transcripts from a podcast that Wack Three Fingers brought Luce Cannon onto in order to get Luce Cannon to start, like, saying way too much about crimes. And this was how Luce Cannon got his start with his internet antics. Three Fingers just brings on this nobody named Luce Cannon and starts getting him to tell on himself and others for the sake of getting Big U in trouble, because Luce Cannon ends up implicating Big U in Nipsey Hussle's murder. Okay, so this is really insane. Look at this.
deep.
But this crazy motherfucker calls me the other day. If I get some information or some content, I'm gonna fry your ass up.
Yeah,
I said, nephew, this content I can't present. You gotta present it because you ain't lied to me yet. He's behind a lot of shit that you've seen. You just should know it was him.
Okay.
We're gonna tell you off camera.
What kind of stuff?
Just some shit. He's behind a lot of shit that if you see on YouTube, you just say no, it was him. So I know he ain't no bullshitter. Man, listen.
No, so
Yeah, you gotta elaborate on this shit.
I got you, because at the end of the day, it's like dealing with, like, we about to go do something, hop out on something, and give you a gun that's empty.
Oh, he did that to you?
No, he did. Yeah,
Oh, he
yo,
did it to somebody
check
else?
this.
Ooh.
This nigga crazy. He really going.
Honey, okay.
Yo,
We cut
so did you let him just take the 50 from you? You really didn't get a cut, or you waited to the next thing and just took more?
Yeah.
No, he avoided me. And then, like,
Wow.
one
So
day,
you know why he wanted to get a dude back to 40, right? Because he was going to make dude give him 20 for getting it back
of course.
and kept you out of it.
Of course. He did that to, when I did that to Meek Mills and Rick Ross.
What'd you do to them?
So,
Oh, the club, when you sweated him in the club?
yeah.
Dude, and Meek and Rick have no idea that Draw sent you out of it.
Wow.
No, yeah, they sent that because I
So
called.
this really just sends a shiver down my spine watching Three Fingers Wack coaching Luce Cannon along, getting him to tell on him. I mean, this is crazy. So this isn't, how is this not third party snitching?
The homies blowing me up like they just killed Nipsey. And so I'm like,
Wait. You get a call from Big U telling you Nipsey just got killed.
Yeah.
You panic, call Nip. Nip
crazy.
answer the phone.
yeah, and
You
we
like,
were just
okay.
talking on
This is
regular. So
wild,
it's like,
bro.
At the end of the day, I didn't even think about it because
You don't
picked
even
up.
warn him that you got that call from dude.
No, because their relationship was so fucked up. They be hot one minute, then they be cold the next minute, and then they be lukewarm. Like you
And
just
30
never knew.
minutes after you get out the phone with Nip, he get killed.
Yeah, I got it.
So
all
you
on
think
the
he hit
TV
you
show.
a little too early?
Yep, he hit me a little bit too early because the homie Shitty double back 3 times. You get what I'm
So
saying?
that was nuts. Wack Three Fingers sounds exactly like a police officer. Same speech patterns and everything. That's very,
Yo,
very
that
interesting.
is
So,
kinda
Wack
crazy.
Three Fingers brings Luce Cannon on, gets him to make all these wild and crazy claims in a display of self-snitchery.
That's the situation with the whole Luce Cannon situation. I didn't know that he was out here talking that much. I wasn't paying that much attention, but now we realize that he is full throttle involved with this whole situation. Wack, it seemed like Wack, I don't think Wack is necessarily telling, but he's definitely playing puppet. And I think pulling the puppet strings is just as dangerous. So, there's a lot more of this to come up, and there's going to be a lot more for me to talk about. Make sure y'all subscribe at the top bell, and I'll see y'all in the next one. I'm out of here.